And we are live on what was Wildcard Wednesday. Now is Throw It Away Thursday, or I know I'm early. I'm early late. I'm late early, however you want to say it. Because yesterday I was running behind with orders I was trying to finish up, and it just wasn't going to work out. Hey, Christian, how you doing, man? Looking good in that shirt. Definitely better than I look in it. Get it dirty, tear it up, whatever you do, have fun in it, go fast in it. If it gets destroyed, I will send you another one. All right. I know if anybody is going to live it down, it's you. So get some use out of it. Jesse, how you doing, man? Good to have you around. I got something to show you, Jesse. Okay. I think you're gonna like it. And it's not my feet. And it's not other body parts per se. So stick around. We'll get to that here in a second. I apologize. Um, good. Yes, make me proud. I apologize for missing yesterday. I was running behind, and I had orders I was trying to finish up. The time just got really close, and I blew you guys off. Not gonna lie, I blew you guys off. So I decided today that obviously I was not going to do that. And I don't know what it is. Everything is going well. Everything is actually going really well, but I'm kind of in a bit of a funk. So getting here on camera was not the top of my priority list. And again, everything is going fine. Maybe I'm having a man period. I don't know. I think the reality is I need to maybe take a short vacation or something. I'm too ingrained in everything and just need to maybe step aside for a day or two a week. Probably won't happen, but at least that's what I said. I did because I've also been trying to do my diet thing and stick to that. And I figured maybe I'm just hangry, so I went and I got 2 cheeseburgers and just decimated them. Um, you know, they were good. They were good. Probably wasn't the answer. Honestly, my stomach's telling me it wasn't the answer, but you do what you got to do sometimes. So, anyways, uh, Thursday stream instead of Wednesday. We might have to change the name around a little bit. I'm thinking about doing some switching up and mainly sticking to Sunday works really well for streaming. I find that day I'm able to stick to that a little bit better. During the week, I may change Wednesdays and Thursdays around. They might literally become separate shows, and it might be in every other type of week situation. We will see. As I'm able to schedule more guests to fill up the time zones, things will change around. I've got some people lined up. Part of the problem is we've got SHOT Show that's right around the corner, and beginning of the year sometimes is kind of crazy for some people. So I haven't been able to get people in, you know, in for shows. I've got some good stuff lined up. Uh, Something on the realm of the Timney. I got somebody. If you guys are following my Instagram, which you probably should, tactical_pontoon. I put uh one of the guys, Tommy at Texas Weapon Works. He sent me a meme for Timney, and I posted it, and I was really surprised about the reactions that I got. I kind of expected people, the normal type of people that I see on, like, say for example, Facebook, that just seem to defend them with their lives. But and maybe it's just because these are people that are following me and know but there were people that I haven't talked to that reacted to that meme. And one of the people has his own YouTube channel, and we got to talking a little bit behind the scenes about some of the things that he has seen with the Timneys. And I invited him onto the stream. It's probably going to be in about a month or so. He's a fairly busy guy, but he sent me some stuff, and we got to talking about it, and he has spent more time on actually digging into them and looking behind the scenes than I have. I mean, I looked at what I saw, and I've seen from other people's experiences, but he's done some real deep digging, investigative digging. You might call I'm going to call him the CoffeeZilla of Timney Triggers. If you know CoffeeZilla, we'll give it all that stuff. Anyways, um, so he shared some stuff with me. I'm personally not going to share it. I am going to wait till I get him on the show, so we can kind of talk back and forth. It was interesting. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Share that with you guys. It does show even more than what I expected behind the backgrounds. So eh, it'll be something. It'll be something that you guys will enjoy, and kind of backs up some of the stuff we've already seen. So that being said, other guests like after shot show is definitely playing into it. People are getting ready for shot show, wanting to see what's coming out before they come on to talk about some of that stuff. Not that these are big industry guys. These are just guys that, you know, I got a range. But anyways, shot show, it's coming up. Obviously, I will be stuck in the trigger cave, not doing the shot show thing. As time goes on, I have less and less want to go out to shot show, but I feel like next year will be the year. I know I was really excited the first couple years that I started doing this, and then it kind of petered out. But I really feel like next year will be the year that I actually go. I get a lot of people asking me if I'm going to be there, and currently no, but maybe next year we'll change it up. Um, so the other thing is I did get, and I want to thank Matt on Instagram. I forget his last name right now. He sent me a link to a couple places that actually had the Glock performance trigger in stock, and so I have one on order. I finally have one on order. Now, granted, I guess Johnny Glock dropped his video. Not I guess. He did drop his video on the performance trigger. I have not watched it. I've had several people who messaged me and asked me if I watched it yet, and I've not watched it for a couple different reasons. Well, the main reason being I want to take a look at it with my own eyes, just like Darth Vader would with his own eyes. Before I watch any others videos. Obviously I've seen the few pictures that I have seen have given me some ideas, but before I look at somebody else's video, I'm going to check it out myself. And that's just the way it is on that. It should be here hopefully next week, and as soon as it does, I will I'll let you guys know, and we'll take a look at it. So uh yeah, and that's the truth. It does depend on what's going on, what's coming out. Is there anything I'm super excited about coming out this year? Not really. I mean, but then again, I'm kind of stuck in my Glock. You know, I've got stuff that I'm really interested in, and it's Glock. So therefore, the reality is it's Glock, so it doesn't really change. Um, and I'm in a really good place where probably the most exciting thing is this new Glock performance trigger for me. And here we are before shot show. We'll get a hold of it and take a look. Um, as for excited about other manufacturers' guns, not terribly so. I mean, obviously the 10 millimeter uh, high point. I mean, we're all extremely excited about that. I know. I hear roofers are really excited about that, to get rid of their nail guns and just go to 10 millimeter high points, shoot those nails. But okay, Jesse, this is for you. All right, this is for you, Jesse. Now we all know, and it's for everybody. Everybody who's here, I'm gonna give you guys a little sneak peek. You guys have all seen this guy. This is the baby Trigger Jedi. This one is going out with all of the orders. You don't have to specifically order a sticker, but you get a baby Jedi. This is good. If the full size one is good for 5 horsepower in normal instances, or 30 horsepower for Jesse, and his Chevy Aveo. This guy is good for 2.5 horsepower, but it's still good for the 15 cool points. Still good for that. Okay. Spark. Aveo Spark. They're all the same. Full size Trigger Jedi. This is the guy with the contest and the full 5 to 30 horsepower and 15 cool points. You guys have seen this guy. I love the Trigger Jedi. Beautiful. And I know you guys, well, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, the Thanos. Okay, you guys have seen the Thanos. It's on the website. Technically, it's old news, even though I'm excited about it because you guys are getting a sneak peek for the new one that probably won't hit the website for another month or so. Are you ready? Boom. Now, you may not be able to read that just because of the way the camera is set up. It says triggered masculinity. Oh, yeah. Can you guys read that? Let me see if I can. Probably not. I'll have to post pictures. Triggered masculinity. I took toxic and I threw triggered over it, and it's me fixing up a Glock, looking full on masculine because that's truly what I am. I am the regular. Let's call it. No. It seems like he's in trouble. Andrew Tate. I'll be the Jordan Peterson. I just don't talk like Kermit. So this is the new one. You guys got the first. You guys got the first look at this one. Hit me up if you want one. I'll get you guys one out first, since you guys listen to me rant, get on my soapbox, and just put up with me before anybody else does. Okay, I'll make sure you get one, Jesse, and you too, Christian. I'll get you guys taken care of. It's beautiful. It is just I love the other two, but this one just makes me laugh on so many different levels. It really does. It's fun. And then I'll work on some other designs, but I could probably spend way too much money on stickers. And I'm not like Brownells or Big Techs outfitters where they've got a lot more money than I do when it comes to budgets for that sort of thing. So I have to limit myself, or I will spend way too much money on stickers. So fun stuff. You guys saw it here first. I decided, after seeing everybody who had really cool stickers and patches, that mine were just boring. So this year, obviously, I've stepped up my game, and nobody is going to have cooler stickers than me. At least that's what I say. At least I'm going to keep that. Nobody's going to have cooler triggers. Nobody's going to have cooler stickers. I'm going to hold myself to a certain bar. It's got to be a low bar because I am short. 5'5", I think. I think if I step on my if I'm on my tippy toes, I'm like 5'5.5", because I'm fat and I can't get up on my tippy toes very high. I'm no ballerina. Okay, another thing. I did get one of the guys on Instagram, a customer, because I was looking for a Generation 5 slide. He got me hooked up with his old Glock 19 MOS slide. Why do I need this? Because my armor slide is a Generation 3. For most everything, I can get it to work really well, but for pushing some of the limits, I do finally need a Generation 5. Sometimes there's a little bit of issue with Leonidas when it comes to the plunger location. So I'm having a Generation 5 Glock armors, a Generation 5 Glock armor slide. I'm going to have it milled up so that I've got full access to that, because I'm going to be playing with the safety plunger. Need need to play with one of those because there's not one on the market, and I need to kind of play with one so I can get some made that will help make the Leonidas more of a drop in versus sometimes they take a little extra fitment. So this is sending out a thanks to Tyler who hooked me up with this. I traded him some laser work that Spearhead did on a mag extension. So he definitely, I would honestly, I got the better deal. His mag extension is cool, but he hooked me up, and I wanted to shoot him a thank you. Okay. Again, like I said, the Glock performance trigger, I am very excited about this guy. I've heard different things other than the pictures I've seen. Again, like I said, Johnny Glock put out a video on it. I'm not going to watch it. Maybe after I do my initial evaluation, but I'm not going to be watching his video on that just because. It's just like I don't take his triggers in to look at them. I don't buy his triggers. Just for my own personal sake of never having somebody say, "Hey, you're just copying him." So that's kind of where I'm at on that. So I haven't watched his video or his evaluation on it or any evaluation on it, just the pictures I've seen and then people telling me some of their experiences, which is just a few people because there are not many of them out there that I know of yet. So we will see. Like I said, hopefully next week I'll have one here and can check it out. I think it's obviously going to be better than Timney because Glock's not just going to drop something on the market that is iffy. At least I wouldn't think so, but we'll see. We will see. When I do eventually do tuned versions of those, it's going to be, it's probably not going to be that cheap just because of the initial buy-in of the parts. Now I should be able to find them for a little bit less as time goes on, but I mean, it'll probably be about as expensive as doing something for the 45 or 10 millimeter because those trigger parts are pretty expensive right now. Even the Glock 43 stuff is getting hard to find again. I thought here recently I was going to have to go into back alley and do throw in some bones or something to, some black market type thing to get some Glock 43 parts. But I did find a little stash on another part of the website or another website that had a few. I thought it was getting ugly again. So I didn't want to do the Apex thing. Their aftermarket bars or anybody else's. I'm telling you, 2022 wasn't bad. 2021, it felt like black market for Generation 5, Glock 43, and then 10 millimeter 45 caliber. That stuff, literally, I felt like I was having to sell my soul for. And it's still expensive, but it's around. But oh my goodness, it was getting bad. I was like, for example, the Glock, the Generation 5 trigger block housings were like 4 times what they normally were, and they were in extremely short supply. I wasn't able to find them through normal channels. I was literally scouring eBay, little parts pages. I would go around to different gun shops just to, and then I was emailing customers to get some of their old parts back, or not old parts, but real. They'd have to send me pictures to make sure that it wasn't tore up. And trust me, I got some in that were ugly, and they just got thrown away. Well, they probably got thrown in one of my guns, if anything, because I get all the crap parts. You would be surprised. Some of the trigger systems in my own personal guns are leftovers or scratch and dent stuff that I couldn't even think about selling. It goes to my own personal stuff, as well as some prototype stuff, shall we say. So yeah. What else do we got going on? Got my drag radials in. I know this isn't gun stuff, but we're going to talk about it for a moment. Got my drag radials in for the Challenger, and they're definitely smaller than I figured they would be, but they hook up, which is a good thing. And unfortunately, because they're smaller in diameter, it throws off the speedometer and that throws off the internal performance meter, which is always kind of off anyways. But I was hoping it would give me an idea. So I don't really know. It was saying 11 seconds, 11.1 seconds in the quarter mile. It wasn't Nitto. Actually went with Toyo Proxys TQs. Kind of the standards are Mickey Thompson's. That's what all the Hellcat guys run, or Mickey Thompson Streets ETs. But I'm kind of weird, so I wanted to go with something a little bit different. So I found these Toyo Proxyses, and they hook up really well. But again, like I said, I'm not truly sure until I get a chance to go to the drag strip and figure out what I'm actually 11.1 seconds if in the quarter, if that's what it truly is, and I sincerely don't think so. I think at the very best I'm probably looking at 11.5, which isn't bad. 11.5 anywhere around there is good. I can live with that for now. And then I also checked out there's a dyno pretty close, so I'm gonna have to do something like that soon. Get out of the house per se, go see what the car is actually putting down before I break it, and then add more power. So that's kind of what else has been going on. Weekend's coming up. Weekend is coming up. They've got a private rental so at the track, so I don't foresee myself being able to get in on that. So we'll see when the next test and tune is. You ran Toyos on the MR2. Price was good. I'm not sure which Toyos you were running. I've always heard good things about Toyos, and that's kind of why when I saw they had a drag radial, I grabbed those. I almost looked at the R888s as an option, but they're more of like a like a time attack tire versus drag radial. I need something that was had a little bit of give in the sidewall and whatnot. And I still have to actually air them down. I actually aired them down a little bit. They were at 40. I thought they were only at 35, but they were at 40. And I aired them down to 30. And I'm going to air them down to 25 so that I get even more, more contact patch. So anyways, that's part of what I've been doing, but mostly. All right. Yes, I'm glad you love that Peacemaker on your 43. It looks really good. I know when I was building it up, because as I recall, is yours the Peacemaker Extreme? I know I built a Peacemaker Extreme 43. I think that's what yours is. Anyways, I'm sure it came out great. Sorry, I'm a little been thrown a little. I've been off a bit. Like I said, here lately, just been a little bit off. Not like I said, I probably need to take a vacation here soon. Get away for about a week or so. Definitely been as the year ended, and I've been pushing forward to expand Tactical Pontoon, and between all of the different streams, all of the different trigger systems, and then looking at adding new shops to the installer program, which I've got a few out there that are about to come online. It has definitely been a very busy time of year, and I can definitely tell that it's time for just a little bit of a break. I will probably I know in March I'll probably be gone for about a week in March. So there will be a little bit of a delay in shipments in March, but like I said, that's not too bad, especially considering like in the old days when all I was building were the excommunicados and everything had at least a 4-week lead time. 1 week isn't too bad. I'm always off. That's why we're here. Yeah, I am always off. There is no doubt about it. I am an odd character. I am always just a little bit off. If I was on point, the reality is I probably would have been one of those guys that got in on like the fidget spinner stuff that doesn't really have regulation and then sold the crap out of a bunch of fidget spinners that did nothing. But instead, I got into guns and doing tuning on triggers and spending more time on something whereas people could just go buy some fidget spinners off a boat from China and they made a killing. Whereas myself, I'm building triggers on polymer pistols. So I am off, but I enjoy doing it. I really do. And even though you guys might think I'm complaining, the reality is I do enjoy what I do. I love building triggers. There are just times when I get a little bit not really burnt out, but I know that it's time to pull back just a little bit, have have some me time, if you will. Get to the track. I need to get to the track. Even if the private rental, if I think there's a spectator pass, I may go out there, bring the camera, take some pictures, just get away from the house a little bit this weekend. But we'll see. There's no guarantee that hell, it's it's January and here in Louisiana, it could rain in an instant, which means chances are that's going to get canceled anyways. Yes, yes. It is stressful. Uh, when people say being your own boss, there's good and bad to that because the reality is when you're at a normal job, you have one boss, or you might have two, depending on when you're in business for yourself and you take multiple orders, you actually have multiple different bosses. And you kind of have to juggle that because each customer, to me, anyways, is kind of like my boss. My goal is to make each and every person that places an order with me or is thinking about placing an order with me, they're my boss. Um, because that's how I operate. Now, granted, that's not to say that just like a boss, you can't let everybody walk all over you. There are limits, and I definitely do my best to balance that. Letting somebody walk all over me versus sticking up for myself. There's a definite balance to that, and I don't let people walk all over me. I step up and like, hey, that's not correct. But I also go out of my way to make sure that I take care of people, which can be kind of fun. And I say fun in with a bit of sarcasm at times. There are definitely experiences that I might wake up to an email or a message that it's weird to start out your day reading an email with somebody who has what might be a very simple question. And it's something I need to learn to do is probably spend an hour waking up before I check uh, business emails, but I hate letting things sit at all. So it's an unfortunate way to start your day sometimes when you get some email that's just way out of left field or uh, the, I had one, and I'm not making fun of any. This truly is not me making fun of anybody, but it is kind of weird when I got one that asked if the triggers were assembled because the picture on the website shows it disassembled, which I did that on the Peacemaker 3.5, the 4.0, and some of the other drop-ins just to show kind of like an exploded view, if you will, of what the trigger looks like. So you see all the different pieces. And I guess maybe they wanted to make sure it was all put together. And again, I can't blame them for asking. but it does. It's like, oh my goodness. Yes, it is put together. So it's weird. It definitely it has moments, and I know, like, if you're in any business, really, whether it's your own business, whether you're a mechanic, whether you're a driver, whether you're no matter what you are, because I've done a variety of different businesses, and worked for a variety of different things, you get some weird questions. As for example, when I was a supervisor, I had a machinist that awesome guy. Love him to death to this day. Really smart man. I relied on him a lot. However, he would surprise me sometimes with questions that I did not know how to answer. And he seemed like he would come at just and maybe he did that just to mess with me. I don't know. But one day we were busy. We had something going on. And he came up to me and he had the soap dispenser from the bathroom in his hands. Just the wall-mounted soap dispenser in his hands. And he said, "James, do you have the tool to adjust this?" And I I said, "Steve," that's his name. I said, "Steve." No, no, it's not Kyle. His name is Steve. Steve, Steve. I won't say his last. It's Steve. Okay, old guy. I think he's he retired right around the time I got laid off. So which was last year. So, anyways, uh, he asked me, "Well, do you have the tool to adjust the soap dispenser?" And I said, "Steve, when they gave me my supervisor toolkit, I don't think they gave me the soap dispenser adjuster tool." And that was the only thing I could think to say. Then he looked at me and said, "You know what? I'm gonna go build one." I let him go. He took the soap dispenser back to his mill back there, and I never checked back on him because, like I said, it was busy. But just some of the questions that he would throw at me, and again, like I said, maybe it was just he needed either, because he's really smart. I relied on him a lot when it came to setting up complex uh, parts and fittings that we either needed drilled or milled out. The man was just genius. Okay, and I'm not a machinist. I am not a machinist. I truly was a structural mechanic. I drilled holes in things and I plugged them back up after I fit them onto the aircraft. Okay. Hey, Steven, how you doing, man? Good to have you here. I started things a little bit early, a day late, so I was early late. Um, so, and another one he came up with, and again, like I said, the man super smart, but he would come up with some weird things. He came up one time, and he had in his hands again. I kid you not, he had in his hands 5-minute epoxy. It was in a white box, the company issued white little box that had the barcode because we had to scan everything in and out. And he says, "James, is this the gray one or is this the clear epoxy?" And yes, rivets are a part of that job. Rivets are a very big part of that job. Um, and I just kind of looked at him, and I took the box of epoxy out of his hand, and I opened up the box, and I laid the two tubes in my hand, and they were clear tubes, and one tube was white and one tube was black, and it's basically an industrial JB Weld. And I said, "I'm pretty sure this is the gray." Like I said, smart people can ask stupid questions too. Not stupid questions, just simple questions for whatever reassurance they needed. So So even though I get some weird questions to start out my day sometimes, or in the middle of the day, I know my girlfriend sometimes she'll look over at me as maybe we're out in town, and I'm looking at my phone, just kind of shaking my head because of what to me is a relatively simple question. Somebody just needs it answered for them. So, anyways, I got off on a tangent there. Just that you get some weird questions as a business owner that maybe just because you've seen or know the answer, it should be simple. Uh, but to another person, it's it's something they legitimately need answered. So you have to take your time, answer the question, and then move on. It can be hard not to, hey, Blade Boy, yes, sir. I got your email. Did you get my email with the link I sent you? I I'm pretty sure that was a rebranded version of the stiletto. If that's not good for you, let me know, and I'll send out some feelers and see if we can find you one of those trigger shoes. Like I said, the if you read my email, hey Angel, how you doing, man? How you doing? It's going all right. It's going good. Like I said, I'll send out some feelers if that link doesn't work for you. And Angel, shoot me an email if you would. Shoot me an email. I need to get you hooked up with a shirt, with a Trigger Jedi shirt, like I talked about. Okay. TacticalPontoon@gmail.com. I'm gonna get you hooked up. Um, if you read my email, I talked about the safety tab on those triggers. That's probably why the last generation of the stiletto did not have a safety tab, is because of some of the issues they had with those. I've worked with those trigger shoes in the past. All right. Yes. Okay. Good deal. Hopefully that gets you taken care of. Hopefully that gets you taken care of. I don't know that company. Like I said, that seems to be a rebranded stiletto, but it is a stiletto. So there you go. Hopefully that gets you hooked up. So I try. I try. What else? What else is going on? I will be I will be adding the feedback from everybody who has tried the Peacemakers, um, Peacemaker systems, and with the Peacemaker trigger shoes. The feedback's been amazing, and that's good. There's a reason why I went with them. They have really good tolerances. They are literally spec for spec, performance wise, as good as the Boogeyman. Okay, they just don't. Depending on what you like, they're not as intricate looking as the Boogeyman Excommunicado. So because everybody has given me massive thumbs up so far on the Peacemaker, I'm not getting rid of the Boogeyman Excommunicado. I still love that trigger shoe. It's still the most beautiful trigger shoe out there. I am going to be extending the Peacemaker shoes into an Excommunicado style trigger system, which is the competition trigger system, alongside the Excommunicado, and I will be adding it to the 10 millimeter as well. I've already got it in the Leonidas, and basically what that's going to give you guys is the option to basically cut down some of the lead time versus an Excommunicado. Anything with an Excommunicado right now has anywhere from a 4 week to a 6+ week lead time, because between supply and building on my end, it just has a longer lead time. Whereas with the Peacemaker trigger shoe, you're looking at bringing that lead time way down. Obviously, with the drop ins, it's basically instantaneous. I mean, we're talking within days. I got one sent out in the mail. Okay. With the Peacemaker competition trigger shoe or trigger, that one you'd be looking within a week lead time versus the 4 week lead time. And then the 10 millimeter instead of a 4 to 6 week, you'd be looking at about a 2-week lead time just to make sure I get parts. Again, with 10 millimeter and 45 caliber, you're looking at me having to do some black market, dirty, wet works type shit in order to make those trigger parts happen. They're just hard to find. They're expensive. It's unfortunate until those parts either become more available or somebody aftermarket wise that I trust builds them. We'll see. Competition. Actually, in my competition systems, I don't include springs except for the trigger spring, which I still use a 5-pound spring. I have different spring kits that I offer so that people can tune it to their own liking because it is competition for a variety of reasons, whether they've got a factory striker or a lightweight striker. That way they can kind of I don't give out a direct spring kit on those just because at that point, if you're building a competition gun, it's like a race car. You kind of want to spec out your own stuff. That's kind of the way I let you kind of go with it on that. Yeah, Steven, definitely. I definitely will be hitting you up when it comes to the Glock performance trigger. If you Brownells has them, or at least they did as of when I ordered it earlier. Brownells had the Glock performance trigger on hand. I ordered one. Hopefully next week. We'll see how everything goes. So if you haven't found one yet, Steven, get a hold. Brownells, and I think Shooting Sports Surplus, I think, was the other one that had it on hand. Somebody shot me a link, and so I took advantage of ordering one right then and there. So, yeah. So, what else we got going on? What more shops are coming online. I have for the installer program, I shot some messages out to another couple. Looks like we should be good. A couple shops in Texas, Tennessee, I think out in Maryland. I'll have to check to verify that. And Arizona. There's another one. Oh, also Florida. So definitely expanding out there so that we've got options for you guys if for example you either need some troubleshooting on a trigger or you want to send out a build, have it stippled, Cerakoted, as well as the trigger installed all in one place. So it's coming. Yeah, check Brownells. Midway, yeah, I'll tell you, probably my favorite one to order from when it comes to Glock parts anyways is Big Tex. They're like really close. So when they ship something, it's here almost immediately. Price wise, they're good, and they have, again, I order a lot of Glock stuff, so they normally have a lot of factory Glock parts. So Brownells is sold out. Let me check real quick. Let me check my phone here. I'll see what the other company was real quick. Let me pull up this message. The other one was shootingsurplus.com. Okay. They, at least earlier, it does show that they still have one, or they still have them on hand. At least that's what it shows here real quick. So, yeah, shootingsurplus.com. See if you guys can get a hold of one. I didn't realize Shooting Surplus. There you go. Okay. Did not know that. I very rarely have ordered from Midway. So may have to my birthday by I'm an April Fool's baby. Okay. So I get my birthday is kind of fun. Not that you guys care. It's fun. April Fools. That's my birthday. I say that people get one day a year to play tricks on people versus myself being April Fool's baby. I have to uphold the tradition by fooling people all year long. I don't know, I'm just kind of rambling tonight. I do apologize, guys. I'd hoped to have there was something that I've got coming in. I was hoping it would be here by now, but it hasn't. But I was very glad to see that I managed to get a hold of one of the performance triggers. I sent out my Zev with my Zafiri slide out to Clint out at Sapper Tactical. I also sent him out a trigger system for one of his customers. Like I said, they're coming online. The installer program, I really see it being something that's just gonna not only grow the Tactical Pontoon name, but also just get out there and give people the opportunity to get better triggers instead of just basic apexes, or people putting in ranger proof triggers because they're cheap. Especially for dealers on this is why and they really haven't capitalized on this is the bad part. Hey Dustin, how you doing, man? You're not late. I started early, a day late, so early late again, like I said. The OZ9 striker is pretty decent. Where was I at? Oh, yeah, Ranger. I'm not going to get on the Ranger proof thing, except for the reason why you see some of those guys. There more of them out there is because they are cheap for dealers. That's why you see them out there, and their quality is not great. But anyways, Matt scored a couple of the performance triggers. You are welcome. Okay, guys, Matt PSA down there, he probably bought out the Brownells triggers. Okay, I did send him the link after he made me feel bad for not sending it to him earlier. And Matt will be on the show here eventually. He keeps pushing me off. Says I got to wait till after SHOT Show because he's going to have information. Obviously, as you can see, PSA, he's he is my dagger information guy. And Matt, that video I did the other day, yesterday, I dropped it yesterday. I actually recorded it back on Tuesday. Keep bumping this light. I recorded it back on Monday or Tuesday, and I held it. But that PSA dagger connector video has just blown up, even though, I mean, it was just basic information. But that video for me blew up. It's like at 300 something views, which for me, for my little tiny channel right now, that's pretty big. So obviously that was something people were interested in knowing. So, oh, you got it from Shooting Surplus. Okay. Gray Ghost Precision Glock trigger. I'm trying to think. Gray Ghost. I didn't realize Gray Ghost put out their own trigger. I'll have to check it. Oh, they did. They did. Yeah, it's not bad looking. Gray Ghost Precision, to me, their name was a lot bigger and held a lot more sway than it has in the recent years. Their machining is kind of not as high quality as it used to be. Glock wise, I mean, I remember when the Gray Ghost slides came out, you were looking at like $500+ for slides, and they were pretty nice. The latest ones I've seen that guys have been ordering, not only the price down to like 200 something, the machine quality is iffy. So yes, more dagger content is coming. I realize the connector, just people wondering about the connector and me being able to show it up close and personal, that it's the same basic connector as a minus connector and a Ghost Precision 3.5. Hopefully it opens some eyes, because no sense spending money when you don't have, or at least no sense spending money if you don't have to. Maybe throw a tune on that system. It was just to get information out there. I know I had one guy who I guess got upset that he basically said, "Well, that means I just don't have to order anything from you since I already have a 3.5 pound connector." Oh no, I was just giving you the information. If you want something better, there's more to it than just the connector. Your $15 connector isn't going to change things. Maybe you spending some time learning how the system works will be all you need. And that's free. You can just download the video or watch the video, stream the video. I'll show you how to tune your trigger. You don't have to buy anything from me. That's fine. What's the worst trigger I've felt in any pistol? Probably my H&K P30. That trigger is terrible. Yeah, the H&K P30 probably has the worst trigger of any of the pistols that I have. I would have to say that one is the worst. Love the gun. I would put my life behind that gun, but that trigger is terrible. Now, if you go back, because it's related to a family of guns, the H&K USP, that trigger's not too bad. It's not great. It's not too bad though. For a hammer fired service type weapon, the USP is not bad. It's not bad of a trigger. Then the next step in the evolution is the P2000. P2000? Yeah. Yeah. That trigger is not too bad. It's very similar to the HK USP. Still more of a duty style trigger. But when they drop the P30, that trigger is just terrible. Just terrible. So much creep, so much the reset length is terrible. It's heavy, just a terrible trigger altogether. So that would be my that would be the one I would say. SCT lower. Okay. Dustin, let me check. I think there's a guy named Johnny Glocks. I hear he does a pretty nice trigger. Or Ranger Proof. I hear they use the same trigger shoes. But who am I to say? Okay, Thomas. The part in a Glock is called a connector, but it does serve as a disconnector. The part on the connector, there's a little leg that rides up in the slide and in the slide there's what's called a cam or a slope or a ramp that disconnects the trigger bar from the connector, if you will, which serves to reset. So yes, it is called a connector in a Glock, but it does serve as a disconnector, if you will. Steven, I love the USP as well. That is a monster of a gun. Mine is currently a 357 SIG because I'm a geek. It's not terribly reliable as a 357 SIG. It was not meant for 357 SIG. From what I had heard, they had tried doing a 357 SIG from the factory, but for some reason it wasn't feeding really well. A company called Rim Country Manufacturing, they do a lot of H&K barrels. That's who I order my H&K stuff from. They had a 357 SIG barrel. I ran it in mine. I still have it in mine. Feeding is kind of iffy, but the USP is just a monster. Mine is a USP 40, which the reality is the USP was designed around the 40 caliber, not 9mm and then bumped to 40. It was actually designed originally as a 40 caliber. It's a beefy gun. I love the USP. I even have a non-functioning original. I need to fix it. USP light. One of the I forget the name of the light, but I have one. So I've got the old school, call it Metal Gear Solid style light for the front of mine. CMC. Oh, Blade Boy. CMC. Don't bring that up. That is. Ooh, those are terrible. Yes. Yeah, it was the first, at least from what I've read, it was the first gun designed specifically for the 40 cal. The Glock 23 did come out first, but it the USP was already in development and almost out and truly designed from the ground up for 40 Smith and Wesson, whereas the Glock 23, even though it came out first, was just a beefed up Glock 19, or was it it might have been the the Glock 22 that came out first, just a beefed up 17. I wish now I do wish I had the laser. Yeah, the Mark 23 and a full Mark 23 is another one I would love to have. I grew up, cut my teeth per se on Metal Gear Solid on PlayStation. So I geek out to those type of guns. And I've been this close several times to buying a full Mark 23. Not the light, obviously, but just a Mark 23 SOCOM. So yeah, yes, all about the Metal Gear Solid. Would love to have a FAMAS, just to have one. It's just it was something that shaped my outlook, if you will, was Metal Gear Solid. So yeah. So obviously, as soon as I saw a USP, a used USP for a relatively good deal, I swiped that up. Same with the P30. My P30 is ratty. My P30 is ratty. Somebody spray painted. It's originally a gray frame P30, and they had rattle canned it black. I found it at a pawn shop. They had rattle canned the frame black, and so now it looks like really kind of a ratty, battle worn setup. It's that poor P30. And then I found my P2000, also 40 caliber bedside gun, if you will. I found that at a local pawn shop. Probably never been shot, and I also picked it up for a sweet deal. HK USP. It was my first H&K as well. Yeah, I would that in my Mark 23. It's still one I want. Really, a P7, like a P7 M8 or an M13. I would love an H&K P7. That is not only a beautiful gun, but the engineering behind that gun, and just I mean, obviously it's the gun off of just watched it, Christmas movie, throwing a blank, Die Hard, the HKP7. That's what Hans has. Hans Gruber. That was terrible. It was a terrible accent. I apologize for that one. So yeah, that's P7. I know they really should, and it would be amazing. It's crazy how long that gun actually was in production and how expensive it was. And they marketed. I mean, H&K, gotta love their marketing. I haven't looked at their marketing here lately, but they love tearing into people. But even then, their print ads talked about how it was the most expensive gun out there. So I mean, H&K, they know how to market their stuff. They tell you can't afford it, and some of it I definitely can't afford. Definitely. Whew. But a P7, beautiful. For now, I'll play with my USP. I did also with my USP, because I didn't want to spend a ton of money on plastic magazines. I got mine to use it. It works really well with the 40 caliber, not so much with the 357, but Glock mags for the range. Definitely for the range, not for relying on it, but you can definitely you can make a Glock magazine work in the USP. So it takes a little bit of doing. It does take a little bit of doing. Yeah, Chris, that Mark 23, you're not going to get one cheap. That's for sure. It's not a cheap gun. It's a massive gun. Is it worth it? Yes. I mean, it is a tank of a gun. So, I mean, you definitely wouldn't go wrong having one. But is it really worth it? I mean, The answer is obviously yes. Steven, yes, civilian 416 would be neat. That MP7, that would be a fun shooter. H&K has put out some really cool guns. There's no doubt about it. They also put out, their magazine ad that had the round in the magazine backwards. That was a fun one. I know a guy who I don't think he does anymore, but he was shooting photography for H&K, not during that time, but I gave him crap, asking if he was the one who did that picture. He was he wasn't happy about that, but it wasn't him. So yeah. Anyways, looks like we're at the 1 hour mark. It has been a good wild card Thursday, throwaway Thursday. We're gonna see how the midweek streams go. I'm gonna check. I may even look at doing them a little bit earlier. My schedule is kind of weird, but I know for sure Sunday streams are a go. Those I can do no problem. The midweek streams are throwing me off a little bit, so I'm gonna see that it may end up being an every other week, or we might. Well, I'm gonna see how it goes. So this is not the last wild card Wednesday/Thursday, but how regular they are, I can't say. But we're definitely have swimming with the pontoon on Sundays. So at least this is what I'm saying right now. Again, like I said, I probably need a vacation and then I'll get right back into it and it won't be a problem. But I am letting you guys know there's a possibility these could be a little bit less regular. They might be more regular as I have really good information to share with you guys. Or if I just do some live streams and just jump on there and talk to you guys. So we'll see how it goes. All right. Dustin, yes, you have a good weekend. And when you're ready, if you got any questions or whatever it is, hit me up. As always, I'll get you something built up. And if you guys, if you have ordered a trigger and you've got it and you've liked it, go to the website, leave a short review, just write something out. I know on the drop-ins, they don't have much in the way of reviews right now just because of how new they are. So any little bit helps. Sometimes, people being able to read those reviews helps out. But I got to say, for everybody who's been out there on different social media, posting pictures or putting my name out there, I can tell a difference. I'm seeing, and I'm very appreciative, truly appreciative for you guys going out there and just putting my name out there when somebody asks for a trigger. So guys, thank you. Truly thank you. I couldn't do this. You can build the best product in the entire world, but if nobody knows about it, you just got a pile of useless parts. But you guys getting out there and telling people, and I go out, you guys know I get out there and I tell people I'm not afraid to push information out there, but also, tell them that there's a better option. But you guys being able to do it instead of just me promoting my own stuff makes a world of difference. So I'm extremely appreciative of everything, each and every one of you, and to make sure that you guys get your money's worth and more. That's truly, part of what I do. Okay. So anyways, Friday. Awesome. Perfect. All right, Chris, I appreciate it. Steven, good to have you here. I will, as soon as I get one in the shop, hopefully you find one, hopefully Shooting Surplus gets you taken care of. I'm interested in your input on that guy. Blade Boy, Cali. Yeah, hopefully, dude, you get out of Cali. That would be amazing. And hopefully you get taken care of on that stiletto. All right, guys, I will catch you on the next one this weekend. All right. Thank you.